All right, let's get the ball rolling. It is August 30th. It is the Team SB team call. I'm seeing so many new faces on here, which is exciting. Amy, it's good to see you on here. Jess, welcome to your first Wednesday night call. Looking through here really quick. I think everybody else has been here before. All right, well, it's good to see you guys on here. I'm really excited about tonight's call, and I'm going to try again to say this. This shouldn't be a long one, but you know. You know me, I talk a lot. But I'm really excited about tonight because this is something that I kind of feel like has been long overdue. And I feel like if you're a newer coach on our team, you know, maybe if you've been on the team for a while, I feel like this is just an important topic, and it's called commitment. Commitments in general. And a lot of my PS coaches and I, we've been focusing on the 12-week year for the past week and a half, and we've started creating these visions, and I went through their visions with them, and I actually just got off my last call with Allie before this, so I finally got through all of them, and it was awesome. It's been an emotional week and a half, to say the least, to really dive through. And I mean, guys, my clipboard is thick. Like, everybody's here, and it's been amazing. And I feel more fulfilled right now than I ever have in my life. Just, you know, knowing exactly what my coaches are going for. And like I said, they were encouraged to do it with all of you guys too. So just be expecting that to start. And if you are one of my coaches and you're listening to this and have not done your call with me yet, please fill out the form in our PS page. That's just a side note. Okay. But I want to talk, this actually, everything I've been talking about recently has been because of this book. Okay, so I just want to say again, the 12-week year. What I'm talking about tonight is coming from this book again. And this is important because commitments are huge. And when you join this business, whenever you joined as a challenger even, you made a commitment. When you bring a challenger on, you made a commitment. When you bring on a coach, you make a commitment. You're making a commitment every single day. And there's two different types of commitments that I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Today's chapter in the 12-week year is one why I came up with this topic, because I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I don't even know what to talk to them about tonight. I just feel like I'm on a brain fart with the past week and a half where my head's just been in these different conversations and trying to help everyone. And then this pops up. And I just started thinking about it, and I go through this chapter, and you guys know me with my personal development. I have a whole notebook full of notes as I'm going through it. And this is one that really spoke to me, and I think it's going to speak to you guys too, because this can be life-changing. How many of you have made a commitment before to yourself? I mean, you're going to commit to doing something. How many of you have broken that commitment to yourself? Every single one of us, right? How many of you have made a commitment to somebody else? How many of you have broken a commitment to somebody else? Which one felt worse? The one for yourself or the one for somebody else? Someone else. Why though? Why is it that we can break commitments to ourselves all the time and we don't think twice about it? But when we break a commitment to somebody else, it hurts. We feel that effect. What do you guys feel whenever you break a commitment? Don't let others down, okay? What do you guys feel whenever you let somebody down? We put other people's needs and feelings before our own. Amen. That's the whole problem. When you let somebody down, what kind of feelings do you feel? Guilt, shame. These are great words. Embarrassed, disappointed, loathing. It's a pretty shitty place to be in, right? Do you guys feel those words whenever you let yourself down? Sometimes probably, right? Different times you might feel it. But it's most definitely more powerful when it comes down to the commitments you make to somebody else if you break them. And we're all guilty. Every single one of us in this call, we all raised our hand. We've all broken commitments to ourselves. We've all broken commitments to other people. But here's the thing we need to talk about tonight is when you make a plan, when you make a goal for yourself, I am encouraging you after this call tonight to honor your commitments. To honor your commitment to your goals and to your visions. And for those of you that are my PS coaches and you've had a vision call with me and you've created your 12-week plan, I'm asking you to make that a commitment. Because how many of us have also sat down with a pen and paper and wrote out exactly what we were going to do, and this was the time we were going to be successful, this is the time I was going to get all the way through that program, I wasn't going to have one sip of alcohol, I was going to eat perfectly, and then like 6 days in, you're like, man, I really want a beer, and you do it. We've all done that. How many people on this call have committed and can honestly, truly say that they have committed to a program 100%? I can. Okay, that's not enough. Why is it? Why do we not honor our commitments? I'm asking you guys tonight, yeah, and it wasn't until this last program. I think it took me 2 years before I did it. Temptation, yeah. It's hard. It's hard, but we are starting to make goals, and we're at the end of the year, guys. I mean, in reality, tomorrow is the last day of the month. Here's another question. How many of you guys made a commitment to help at least 3 people this month on the first day of the month? How many people have done it? Okay, so tonight we're going to find out the difference, okay? We need to understand the power of commitments, and when we actually commit to something, how it can actually change our life. Because there's a difference between saying you're going to do something and then actually committing to something. Like, committing is a weird feeling. When I committed to Shift Shop 100%, that was an incredible feeling on day 21 when I completed it. That was a sense of achievement that I could not even describe. When I did Core de Force, that was the first time that I ever won 100% in the program, was Core de Force. And I'll never forget that feeling when I finished that program. I'll never forget the commitments that I made to people that I went through. I never forget the commitment I made for you guys last year that we were going to go for Elite and we were going to do it. And we did. It feels good, but it feels really good when you do it, but it feels really shitty when you don't do it. Commitment is the state of being bound emotionally or intellectually to some course of action. So essentially, saying it this way, basically, when you make a commitment to something, this word has to mean this to you. It means that you are deciding beforehand that you will do whatever it takes, you will go whatever lengths to achieve your goals. No matter what. No matter what life throws at you, that's what it says. You are going after exactly what you want, and the more accountable you are to that, the more you hold. And here's the thing, guys, here's a side note. No one can hold you accountable but you. And that's something we have to remember, is that we're all searching for somebody else to hold us accountable. Anybody feel me? Our coach needs to hold us. Or how many of your challengers say, whenever you message them and they say, like, what are you looking for? They're like, I need accountability. I need somebody to motivate me. Here's the reality. You can't do that. The only person that you can motivate is yourself. The only person that you can hold accountable to is yourself. And for some reason, and I actually learned this in another chapter today, is that there's such a negative connotation attached to accountability, right? We all look at accountability as something that's kind of like scary, where it's like, well, she needs to hold me accountable. And guys, I was looking at it and I was thinking about it. Accountability is not a consequence. And we make it a consequence. Accountability, and this is something that I wrote down that I thought was really interesting, is that whenever you ask somebody else to hold you accountable, it's like you're kind of waiting for them to tell you that you screwed up so you don't have to admit it on your own. Right? Whenever you're saying, Kelsey, hold me accountable to my goals, like if Rebecca would text me, and obviously all my coaches have done this, and I've done this to my coach. If I text Natalie and I say, hey, Nat, I need you to hold me accountable that I'm going to hit Elite this year. That's basically me saying, like, I might not do it, so I need you to kind of yell at me if I don't do it. That's not a commitment, because I can't even hold myself accountable. I am the only person that can make me take action every single day. And I can present all this beautiful information to you guys. I can give you all the trainings in the world, but I can't make you use them. I can inspire you. I can show you what happens if you do use them, but I can't make you do it. Because you have to make that decision. You have to make that commitment. It comes with accountability. whenever you as a leader, and for those of you that have a team right now, and for me that does with my PS coaches, I'm so guilty of this, is that by me constantly checking in and being like, hey, you're going inactive tomorrow. Did you know that? Hey, where have you been? Why haven't you been on team calls? Hey, did you do your power hour today? Hey, have you posted on social media? By me doing that, you know what I'm doing? You know what you're doing? You're never allowing them to take ownership. Because they know, enabling, they know you're always going to be there. So if you're doing that, if you find yourself doing that, that's another thing. We post on social media and we say, we tell our Facebook followers to hold us accountable. Oh God. That's you basically telling them straight to their faces that, hey, you need me to hold me accountable because I can't hold myself accountable. We need to think about that stuff. We need to stop being victims. We need to take ownership of our lives and of our commitments, of our goals, and commit to it. Commit to helping 3 people a month. Commit to helping 10 people a month. Commit to going after our 12-week plans that we created for ourselves. Commit to showing up and saving 10% of our paychecks if that's a goal. I'm looking at mine, that's why I'm saying this. Committing every single week to, no matter what my freaking paycheck looks like, I have to put $150 on my American credit card. That is a commitment. And I cannot not do it. Showing up for a workout every single day. That is a commitment by me. There's 2 different type of commitments, guys. Number 1 is your personal commitments. This is the one we're kind of lenient on for some reason. This is the one where we're like, okay, well, this is the one where basically in a nutshell, it's a promise you're making with yourself to make specific actions. That's the commitment. That's a personal commitment. It's a promise you make to yourself. And this could be as simple as working out consistently. It can be as simple as making sure you're spending time with your family. You're making a commitment to stop smoking. Maybe you're making a commitment to message or invite at least 10 people a day. That's a commitment that you're making to yourself, right? In the chat box, I would like to know, what are 2 commitments that you have made for yourself? Is that rookie? Yeah, it is rookie. What are 2 commitments that you have made to yourself that you can say that you've done, that you've accomplished? Not the ones that you have not done. 2 commitments that you do and you are freaking consistent. Anytime in your life. Regain control of your health again. And you did that, Rachel, right? Okay. Paying off the last year T-Mobile. You did that, right, Jess? Okay. Let's see here. 3.5 GPS in college. Did it. 20 pounds. Passing my boards. You did that, right, Kaylee? Okay. Being a badass mom and getting healthy. You did that, right, Stace? Graduating with a master's degree with a 4.0. You did that, right, Steph? It's pretty badass. I didn't know that. Power every day this week, running a half marathon. And Emily, you did that. Paying bills monthly. You did that. Here's the next question to that. Success Club All-Star. Awesome. Call my family every weekend and graduating with back. Again, these are great. See these commitments you guys made to yourselves? Now here's my question for you. What were the results for you when you did that? How did you feel? How did it feel to do that? Look at these comments. When you make a commitment and you follow through on said commitment, girls run the world, they're accomplished, they feel insane, they're bad, they feel badass, they feel relieved, they feel amazing, they feel on fire, they feel like they're kicking ass, they feel amazing. That's commitment. That's the feeling that comes with commitment. Fulfilled. Love that one. So there's obviously benefits of keeping your personal commitments to yourself. It says in here that there's going to be times where all of us struggle. And I know for a fact that there's some people on this call right now that are saying that they're on the mad struggle bus. But do you just throw your freaking commitment out of the window just because shit's not going the way you want it to? No, we don't do that. And I wrote down in here too, I do the same exercises. And I said the 2 commitments that I have made to myself is I work out daily and I show up for my business daily. And then the thing is that it says, what are the benefits of that? And I said, okay, I felt amazing about myself. I got results. I'm being proof the products work. I've gained interest from others because I've done these things. I've achieved elite. I've created a top 100 team. I've helped my girls dream bigger. I have an ego boost. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm recognized at the top of the company, and all people are always coming to me because I made 2 commitments to myself. That's what's happened in my life. So what I will ask you guys to do is whenever you those things that you wrote down, 2 commitments that you made, do the same thing. You know, what were the results for that stuff? How has that impacted your life? Because don't you want more of that? Don't you want more where that came from? So the commitment that you made for yourself in your 12-week year or whatever your end of the year goal is, if you actually made that a commitment. Oh, let me ask you this too. Just a side note. For those of you out there who paid their bills monthly, who ran a half marathon, who did their power hour day this week, who graduated with a master's with a 4.0, who got really healthy to become a badass mom, to call their family every weekend and graduate with 4 certifications in education. For those of you that lost 20 pounds and passed your boards, you worked really hard at that stuff, didn't you? Didn't you? It was probably so crazy, like how like when you made that commitment, like there was no excuse. You worked so hard and you did it. And you made that last payment on that T-Mobile bill, and man, you really could have used that money for something else, but you did it. What Rebecca just said is where I was going. When you have no other choice, you do it. So why all of a sudden do we give ourselves a choice when it comes to these beautiful goals that we set for ourselves? Not just in business, but in life. Why are we starting to give ourselves an option? You guys, that's the next, you guys are like reading my mind. Can I just speak? Just kidding. No, I'm kidding. This is exactly what's next, is that you're putting this on something, those things that you committed was something that was a make it or break it for you. None of you guys, a lot of you put down school as one of your biggest accomplishments. None of you guys wanted to fail out of school, right? That would have been freaking huge if you would, that would have sucked. Right? Can you imagine coming in at 3.8 when you're going for a 4.0 average? Could you imagine going and do this half marathon and giving up 10 minutes in? No. Could you imagine striving to be the best mom that you could be for your 2 little girls and then just one day waking up and saying, nah, I don't feel like doing it anymore? You do what you have to do, and that's a commitment we make to ourselves. So what if you looked at these goals that you're setting for your business the way you looked at that stuff? Because it's not just about, and again, if you're doing the 12-week year, if your coach is starting to talk to you about that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we all know, and I literally, again, my entire giant packet of all these visions that I have of the girls, they know now that when they don't commit, that this paper is shit. If they don't go after what they want, this is never going to happen. If you guys, when you set out and you write this vision for your life, and I encourage you, if you have not done it yet, to sit down and write out exactly what you want out of life, because every time that you don't do this commitment and you don't go against what you want, or if it's, whether it's paying on your credit card or being the best mom you can be, if you just one day decide you're going to show up and not do that stuff, to start ripping your vision in half. We talked about that last week. We have intentions every single day that you are and that you are not aware of. I think that that's the thing, is like you're doing things every single day that you're aware of and that you're not aware of. And he uses an iceberg metaphor. You guys know that the top of the iceberg is like probably like 10% of like what you see, but you guys know that underneath it's like a freaking boulder, right? He says is that human beings are so much like icebergs. At any moment, only a small fraction of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations that are we aware of. We're only aware of how we're feeling like 10% of the time. Everything else is so buried deep into us, and all these little self-limiting beliefs and crap that we have are that big giant iceberg underneath, and why we won't commit. That's the difference. So it says here, using the iceberg metaphor, where do we think that our intentions fall? Is it above the waterline or below? For most of us, it's above. That small, tiny little part. It's not going to get us anywhere. Let's see here. Okay, he says in here that that he uses the New Year's resolution thing. The beginning of every year, everybody makes all these stupid resolutions that nobody ever keeps, right? I hate New Year's resolutions. I think they're dumb. I think that they're so dumb because everybody fails. Everyone does. No one keeps their New Year's resolution. So he said he uses the losing weight one, which is one of the top ones every single year, is I want to lose weight this new year. And which is why our businesses all explode in January and February. And then they all start falling down in about April, May. He says to consider the question for yourself. Are you overweight by your own standard? If the answer is yes, then you have conflicting intentions. At the 10% level of that little iceberg, the intention is to reach your ideal weight. So for all of you guys, maybe your intention is to, I'm just going to pick one of the girls' visions right here. Your intention is to go back to school and get your master's degree. Okay, maybe that's the intention. So think about your goals, your vision for your end of the year. Maybe your intention is to be an elite coach. Maybe your intention is to be a diamond coach. Maybe your intention is to be a team leader or make $1,000 a month, whatever it is. That's the 10% of the iceberg. But at the 90% level, that huge bottom, what you're thinking about is all the things that like you don't want to give up. So for the weight, like the losing weight part, the reason why people fail at New Year's resolutions is because they say, I'm going to lose weight, and that's the 10%. But what they're really thinking is, I like to eat and I don't want to give up the enjoyment of food. I don't want to get out of my warm bed to run in cold weather. I don't want to expend effort. I don't see myself at that weight because I've always been heavy. There's not enough time. That little 10% is the goal. The 90% at the bottom is the excuses and why you're not making a commitment to yourself. And that's where the conflict happens. So the thing is, in order for you to have a successful commitment, you need to do 4 things. 1, you have to have a strong ass desire, guys. You have to have a very strong desire to go after what you want. You have to want it so bad. And guys, I know after doing those calls with the girls, and again, this is why I'm like straight up like throwing this thing through the screen. I'm telling you to do it with your teams. I know after doing these calls, I know that these women have a very strong desire. Like I know what they want. So step number 2 is creating the actions it's going to take for you to get there. So what are those keystone actions? What do you need to do every single day to get there? What kind of, again, 12-week year. I know I'm like, you guys are like 12-week year, stop talking about it. You need to know what actions you need to take in order to make it happen. Here's the third thing that not many people do is you need to count the costs. You need to just straight up say right off the bat like what you're going to have to give up, because you're going to have to give up something. You're either going to have to get uncomfortable, you're going to do things that scare you, you're going to do things that stay up. Like I know some of them, the girls, it's been really cool to watch. Some of the girls are staying up later, some are getting up earlier, some are, they're changing things, they're making sacrifices right now, working an extra hour, they're doing what they have to do. The last thing is acting on the commitments and not your feelings. And that's the biggest one. We have to stop acting on our feelings. Commitment is different than feelings. When you commit to something, you still show up even whenever you don't feel like it. So now that is our commitment to ourselves. Now it's time to talk about our commitment to others, because this one is something that I'm very passionate about. When you sign up as a Team Beachbody coach, you have not just made a commitment to yourself anymore. You made a commitment to other people. And this is something that really, really freaks me the hell out, is knowing that if I would leave tomorrow, a lot of people would be impacted by that. A lot. I have a downline now of almost 700 coaches. I have challenge groups capping out at 70 people a challenge group now. That's a lot of people. And that's not even just my customers, the people that like come to my page every single day just for a little bit of inspiration. Please don't. That's where I'm going with this. When we fall off, when we go ghost, when we don't show up on social media, when we decide to take a day off, when you don't honor a commitment that you made to one of your challengers or to one of your coaches or to your team, or especially, like I know a lot of people have been, I got a message and talking about like how Team Cup teams or their Team Cup team wasn't doing anything and it just all fell apart. whatever, 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 whatever. When you make a commitment to something, especially to other people, we can still do this when we're 80, right? I mean, I'll still be doing it. I'll be living off of, you know, wherever I'm at that point. I don't know. I'll be sitting in some rocking chair on the beach. But anyway, commitment to others is a thing. And so, you have to have a strong desire to keep your word. Here's where we're going with this, okay? That's the number one thing. I want you guys to think about a time when somebody promised you something that was very important to you. Think about that time. Bring it up. Bring it in your head. Get it in your head when somebody promised you something. It was so important to you and you were looking forward to it and they didn't do it. How'd that make you feel? Now think about the time that you made a commitment to somebody else and you didn't come through. Made you feel pretty bad too, right? I think the thing we have to understand is that we don't understand an impact of a broken promise to somebody else. We don't understand a broken promise to ourselves. When we ask people, and I want you guys to literally, I need you to listen to me right now, especially with this business, especially anybody in your life, this is important. Whenever you break a promise, this is what you have done. You have lost integrity. 1. Number 2, you have lost confidence in the person who you let down. Number 3, you lost their trust. And number 4, you have just broken the relationship. Anybody want that on their shoulders? No. And every single time a coach quits, I feel like such a freaking idiot having to go into their downline and send emails to all of their people and have to explain to them what happened. And it happens too much. And it hurts them because they just got left. Think about that. Think if I would quit. Think about your upline coach right now. Think about the relationship you have with your upline coach. What if they shut you out tomorrow? What if they shut you out? What if I quit? You just put that out there. What if I quit tomorrow? What would happen to all you guys? Some of you would keep going, but I would just be honest, the majority of you would quit. God, probably you know where I live too. That's the thing, right? We play more of an impact on other people than we realize. And like right now, we're a family. We're a coaching family. So we don't think about that stuff because we're on a team together. And it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to quit. But like we make commitments to people. And if I would, like I said, if I quit tomorrow, think about it. Even if you would quit tomorrow, there is somebody I can guarantee you that you're impacting. At least one person. One person. So again, here's the thing in regard to keeping commitment to others. 1, you have to have a strong desire to keep your word, like I said. 2 is you also need to count the costs on that too. Is it worth you breaking that commitment to them? Number 3, you have to act on your promises. Aw, I know, Amy. Me and you go way back. Amy was like one of my first coaches ever, and she went away for a long time. Literally, she's like at the top of my downline. It's pretty amazing. That's why it's this complete side note, but I literally messaged her the other day, and I was like, Amy, you're literally at the top of my downline. Can you just coach? I was like, just start. It's awesome. But there's just something here that he talks about that I want to go through, and I'm almost done, I promise. I told you guys I wouldn't keep you guys long tonight. Where is it? The failure. Okay, so there's a difference between something called failure and failure. So failure and failure. Failure. It's an analogy. And the difference is small, but it makes a huge difference. In failure, F-A-L-L, you still do not get up you get up. How do you say this? Okay, this is about a rock climber, so you're not going to, none of that would have made sense if I didn't tell you it was about a rock climber. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. You still get up, but you never let go, okay, in that sense, failure. You're going to fall. In failure, you're going to fall, but in failure, you let go. Going to failure means full commitment to go up. You're going to climb that wall no matter what. Even if the odds of success are less than 20, 10, 3%, you're going to keep climbing no matter what. You know that there's a really strong possibility that you're going to fall. You have nothing down there. There's nothing to catch you. There's a really strong chance you're going to fall, but you still never count it out. And every time that they fall, they think to themselves, well, I really didn't try everything. I didn't try everything I could do, but I always gave it my best effort. That's failure. In failure, you always give in failure, you always give your full best despite the fear, the uncertainty, all that other stuff. You always give it your best. Failure is when you literally let go. You give up. You didn't do everything that you possibly could. The process, guys, is always more important than the result. Remember that. The process is always more important than the result. You getting to diamond is fantastic, but how you got there is what's freaking badass. Right? The girls that have achieved diamond, can you back me up on that? Hitting it was cool, but how you did it was pretty badass, right? I'm going to use Kaylee as an example from last week. Kaylee stayed up late as hell because she's literally that close right now to achieving it, okay? Stayed up super late last night, and this is an example of failure. Somebody that stayed up so freaking late, sent out messages, had a ridiculous amount of conversations, even got in a semi-fight with somebody to back up and guard this company into what she believed in. And she goes to bed that night knowing that she did everything she could. Failure is her saying, I gotta get to people before midnight, I'm going to sleep at 7. That's failure, giving up. There's a difference. She made a commitment. She looked at Rebecca, her and they both talked, and they said, hey, I'm going to do this. She made a commitment, and she went after it. And that's freaking cool. The process is always better than the result. Because now here's the thing. When it does happen, when it happens for every single one of you on this phone call, when you achieve diamond or you achieve elite or whatever the heck, or when all of you guys start achieving this stuff that you all wrote on your visions, what's going to be cooler? The fact that you did it, or all of that hard work it took you to get there? All that stuff you're going to remember that you did. All that stuff you guys talked about at the beginning of this call. The 4.0, the 4 certifications, all the other stuff you guys are talking about. What was more important? What do you remember? Do you remember the time it happened, or do you remember how freaking hard you worked to get there? Right? So you have to count on yourself to follow through. Can you count on yourself to follow through on what you want? Especially as a leader to your teams or as a coach to your challengers. Don't expect to be perfect, but do everything you can to follow through. The biggest pitfalls and the biggest mistakes that you will make, guys, is missing a commitment once and giving up. Not trying to learn from it. Number 2, you'll fail to confront missed commitments. You won't try to fix it. Another thing, you don't value your word. Don't commit to something if you're not going to follow through on it, guys. And the thing is like we don't ever want to overcommit. You're only wanting to commit to 2 to 3 things at a time, which is why the 12-week year is something I had my coaches do, because they're committing to 2 to 3 things right now. You want to go public with your commitments. When you make a commitment, the best way to hold yourself accountable is to go public. When you guys became a Beachbody coach, what's the first thing we had you do? A coming out post. Because it was time for you to go public with your commitment. Because whenever you're hiding behind this little wall of, I don't want people to know I'm a Beachbody coach, you'll never be a successful Beachbody coach, right? It's the same thing with that, but it's the same thing with everything. And that's another thing. I told the girls, I want to see you guys start talking about your vision everywhere. If you guys want something, whatever's on your vision board, you guys should be talking about it all the time on social media. You should be sharing it with people. Like I told you guys last week, I literally sit down next to Zach and I'm like, man, it's going to be really cool when we are making dinner in this beautiful white kitchen. It's going to be really, really cool whenever we have this fenced in backyard and I can just like watch our zoo run around in the backyard. It's going to be really cool whenever I get another one of these badass medals delivered to my door next year because my team achieved it again. I talk about this stuff all the time. Go public with it. And that's another thing is I don't think I do well enough at, and I'm working on it, is talking about it on social media, like what I'm going after. Because what's going to attract people to me? My accomplishments now, or like the fact that I'm actually talking about it constantly, and then doing it. Like I do what I'm saying I'm going to do. And the last but not least, make sure that you're buddying up with people. That's the point. Is like you let people in on this and you make them hold you accountable. Our team has started weekly accountability meetings. And it's on Tuesdays and they're like 20 minutes long. And they have like my PS coaches have to go on and they have to look each other in the face. And if they don't complete what they said they were going to complete, they have to tell each other that. And that makes it a little more, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. And it's pretty cool. I was on their first ones yesterday and it was awesome. It was really cool to watch them all like say that they accomplished what they did and all of them made progress, which was really cool. So committing to something, just in summary, because I'm actually done early, you have to give yourself your word. And that's why I asked you is, can you count on yourself to follow through? When you want something bad enough, guys, you will do whatever it takes. I know you will. But remember that whenever you're committing to these challengers, you're committing to your coaches, you're committing to this team, like that's a commitment. When you say you want your goals, that's a commitment to yourself. So no more holding yourself back. My challenge for you tonight, how I'm going to end this call, my challenge for you tonight is to write down the commitments that you are going to make to yourself. 2 commitments you're going to make to yourself and 2 commitments you're going to make to others. Whether that just be showing up in your challenge group every day, making sure you're sending 10 messages to your challengers a week, personal messages, whatever it is. And I want you to stick to it for the rest of the year. If you have a 12-week plan, you already kind of know what you committed to. But it's important. You know, this is good for you. This is good for all of us. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to write down mine. I'm going to share mine with you guys. What are 2 commitments we're going to make to ourselves and 2 commitments we can make to other people? That will change our business. That will change our lives. Because this has the potential to change your life if you let it. It's actually following through with what you say. Everything that you guys have followed through with has changed your life, right? Has moved you forward. So why not this? Any questions? All right. Well, I think next week we have our diamond retreat next Thursday, which is crazy. But I think so next week, I think that on Wednesday night, we're going to do a half-hour power hour. It's going to be kind of more of a laid-back call. I still encourage you to show up. And it's not going to be one of those stupid power hours like we did last time where it's like we time shit. I think that's lame now. I think that what we should do is we should come with our to-do list and the shit that we want to get done, and we're going to dedicate. You guys already come this time anyway. So I want you guys to dedicate 30 minutes to getting something done towards your business next Thursday at this time. We'll still come on here for accountability. So just come on with your to-do list, whether that's sending out 26 messages or forming. You literally might be sitting here on your cell phone for 30 minutes on Instagram and talking to people. I don't care what you're doing, but for 30 minutes, just come on here like it's a normal team call and get 30 minutes of stuff done that's going to move your business forward. Cool? All right. And then that's it. That's all I got for you guys. You guys have a good rest of your night. And I will I did to say this. Sorry. Couldn't let you guys out saying this. Tomorrow's August 31st, y'all. Everybody know that? Last day of the month. and you have an ability tonight to be very hard on yourself, or you're going to open up, and you know who I'm talking to on this call right now, or you have an ability to put a smile on your face, put out something that's going to inspire the hell out of somebody, get out of your own head, believe in yourself, and go after what you want. Okay? It's not about Success Club. I don't care about those 2 words. I don't give 2 shits about those 2 words. There's a baby and I keep cursing. I'm sorry, Amy. And his first word's going to be shit. I don't care about those 2 words. What I care about is you believing in yourself that you can. If you've done it before, if I can do it, if any of us have done it before, you can do it again. And ask if anybody wants advice, contact Katie Ann Marshall, who used to be at Success Club 2 on the 30th of the month and ended up at Success Club 10 on the 31st. Don't know how she did it, but man, she did great at it. Just go for it and help people, guys. And make sure you're staying true to yourself. And no matter what, like I said, there's a difference between failure and failure. Right? Are you going to go out of this month failing? Or are you at least going to climb and know you did everything you could? And just because I literally just got the Diamond Insider email while I'm on here, Super Saturday is on September 23rd. Find your Super Saturday. Get to it. I'm looking at it really quick, and then I'm going to let you go for reals. I'm going through this very quickly, everything that they're announcing for September. Week of Hard Labor is kicking off next week. It is the 5th through, it's a Tuesday, it's after Labor Day. And with that being said, they're donating $100,000 down to Texas, which is really cool. It's easy to just share that, guys, but it's also easy to make a really meaningful post behind it. Like my coach Natalie did a really, really good job with that today, like kind of just sharing how Beachbody pays it forward. So, okay, I finally found it. Super Saturday is September 23rd. We have a Week of Hard Labor coming on September 5th. There will be a sneak peek of Clean Week on September 19th. So they're gonna give you a sneak peek of what Megan's program is gonna be like. That Clean Week is gonna be phenomenal. We'll talk more about that soon. The FAQ for that, if you're curious, is $34.66. The Success Club Reward is going to be a personal development webinar with Hal Elrod. He wrote the Miracle Morning. So for those of you that have heard of that book, he wrote that, and it would be unreal to get on a call with him. If you've not been on one of those personal development webinars, they're amazing. John Maxwell does a great job. They're still offering spots to the Riviera Maya trip for those people that are diamond and below. So keep pushing for that. It's a brand new quarter coming up soon. So those coaches that hit diamond as well as hit Success Club throughout the rest of the year, I think it's whoever hit Success Club September, October, November, December, as well as holding diamond for 6 weeks, will get a $250 bonus. We are just about a little over a month away from the UK launch. That's October 21st. So be prepared for that. I think that's it. Week of Hard Labor. There'll be new pre and postnatal classes available in the Beachbody On Demand Yoga Studio as of September 13th. And the 10% club discount removal is taking effect on the 14th. So basically what I did with that is I just sent out an email to all my customers and just said, hey, I just want to let you know that that is going away. And if you're interested in upgrading to Discount Coach to get a 25% discount, I highly recommend you do so. Just let me know. That's it. All right, guys. I'll make sure I have all that. You guys know I'll have that on team calendar. I already actually do. I'll make that sure that's posted. But I don't post it before the month's over because I don't want everybody to start thinking about September. All right. I will, and if you guys are kind of like, in the dark, the All Access Challenge Pack is staying at $160. It's not going back to $199 right now. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to get off before I keep talking. All right, love you. Bye. Good night.